Welcome back to the April Cup for the Trackmania World Tour. Worlds continue to collide here. Last round, we saw former teammates take on each other, Epos and Razzie, with Epos coming out on top over Binks as well. Stacked tournaments. We're seeing current teammates in the match that we're about to watch. Players from W. Dot, aka Wumbo, aka W, aka, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, Melioo and Acrose. EMC Champions is a good one. Thank you, Padster, as well, for that one. Melioo, Acrose join Epos and Richie as well, as here we are immediately into the match. It will be sublimation first this time around. The game was upset at us not getting to see much of it last time around. We'll head from there to Halfwood, to Cadence, then to Castle, and finish things off on Liftoff. God, this has been a great day so far, honestly, OC. I think, as we were kind of talking about during the break there, it's incredible seeing so many great players who kind of tend to stick to their own tournament circuits in general. You know, players who play a lot of EMC, players who stick to, you know, one style a lot. And, you know, we're seeing that just everyone is here. This is the Smash Bros of Trackmania.
This is just like, they basically grabbed everyone who can hold a controller in their hands, shoved them all together, and now we have some of the most stacked matches I have ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
In watching
no,
Trackmania.
it's incredible.
It is incredible.
I'm going to give a quick shout out here. Acrose is wearing a Welsh skin for this match, but it's a specific Welsh skin. It is the skin for the upcoming LAN in Wales, Cup on Cymru, which is going to be happening at some point in the near future. I'm sure Thomas is in chat and can tell us the actual dates at some point. But there will be online tickets available for that match as well. For £5, you can help support Trackmania in Wales, get access to that skin. There will be other exclusive content as well. And we just love to see things going on in the British and Irish Trackmania community, especially LANs. I mean, who knows? Maybe if one of those goes well, we can eventually have an Irish one. I mean,
the IOC on LAN would be crazy, but IOC is unfortunately way higher competition than what we are about to watch, so we will just have to settle for this instead, as Richie, Epos, Melioo, and Acrose will battle it out on these next 5 maps to decide 2 of which will go into the top 8 and play in an even more stacked match. Oh my god, Epos.
It is quick, even immediately off the line. The quality continues to rise throughout the day as, I mean, even just the more practiced players as well. Players who know their lines. Richie, unfortunately, tried to go a little bit too tight there. I don't know how he saved that. He's somehow still there. That was a slide out. As far as I understand ice, he should be dead right now. But somehow Richie's still holding on to 3rd place, just ahead of Acrose for the time being at least. Into this 360. Will they nail it? Melioo looks a little bit slow, but he's not slow enough for Epos to catch. It will be Melioo to the line to win round 1. Epos settles for 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. And that first round, settling the nerves, just get through it clean, which is what Melioo and Epos did. Richie had the pace there to win it, but made the mistake, of course, in that like 180-ish ice slide. And Acrose made a mistake quite early in the drift, so he was playing catch up, unfortunately, for the whole round. But this is going to be incredible, as these different lines that I was talking about at the start of the cast. There's 2 different lines you can take, and they seem pretty equal, as Epos and Richie are beside each other still. So yeah. No gains, no losses there.
Richie's line, that's probably the one I'd be taking. Current world record holder, at least for the online records on this map, and he does seem, with both of them, I would say, having driven their lines near flawlessly there, Richie just carried a little bit more speed the entire way through at the end. You know, Epos was alongside him for a little while, but it's given Richie just a very, very small advantage. All 4 players through the ice this time. Epos wider than Richie on the exit from it. The gap still sits at about a 10th. Richie's driving a great round right now, and he is holding the lead for the moment. Through the 360 we go. One more time. Richie,
they
make it through. They both slide out through. Cup on Cymru car in the lead, and Acrose will take a round win. It was a quick round right up until it wasn't, as both players pushed too hard and slide on out. Epos, unfortunately, I think a little bit bigger of a loser that time around, ending up with a 4th place in the round. And yeah, Acrose delighted with how that turned out.
That is brilliant for Acrose there, getting a round win himself from nowhere. Just Richie and Epos making a mistake in the closest thing we have to an identity in these map packs, I suppose. So yeah, it can that ice 360 can really shake the order up, as we've seen so far today, and it'll probably continue to do so, as once again Epos and Richie had to release, possibly.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and he falls back a bit, but now Epos versus Melioo versus Acrose, and if Richie wants to win this round, he'll have to take out Wumbo members one by one the whole way to the finish, as everyone is fairly tight going into the ending here, and will we see another incident in which the winner here isn't going to end up winning the round?
Yeah, could well be. Epos, that was a late turn. That was just mistakes made. He didn't know whether he was coming or going in that turn. Melioo takes the win. Richie crashes at the finish, and Acrose sneaks away a second place. Acrose is there. He's consistent, and he is picking up rounds kind of by the skin of his teeth. It's working for him.
It's working really well for me. Acrose, maybe Acrose has gone into this match. Look, like Melioo is faster than me. Epos is faster than me. Richie is faster than me. I'll just drive my times. You know what I mean? There's no pressure on me. If I drive around the map and they all crash and I get second, that's all I need to do. And so far, as he is almost leading this match, he's second place in this match, which I don't think Acrose would have thought himself, maybe, at this stage. But of course, early doors still, so we'll have to see.
We will have to see. There's an element, it feels like, and I don't know if this is what's going on in the player's head, but Richie and Epos maybe came into this match being like, right, we're up against each other. Richie holds plenty of world records. Epos has been quick in general. They've been pushing incredibly hard to try and fight each other, and it's kind of Melioo and then Acrose as well have gotten away with it. Richie, again, with the pushing, is fighting for first place here. He's allowed the rest to catch back up. All four cars neck and neck through this final turn. Can they nail the 360? Epos does for once, and he's nailed it so well. He might get all the way in first. Richie, though, holds on to the lead. This time doesn't clip on the inside. Epos takes second, and it is going to be Acrose and Melioo in third and fourth. That's a quick time as well. Fastest we've seen in the match. 56.6 from Richie.
Wow. That's all I'm saying here. Where Epos is last coming out of a map. I did not think I would see that at this stage of the competition. This is incredible. As we go into Halfwood, and let's just hope this match keeps going the way it's been going so far, because the level has just been absolutely incredible from all the players.
Yeah, I will say, so looking down the times that these players do have on the maps, Richie is the fastest time on 3 of these maps currently in the match. Halfwood is not one of them. Melioo with the fastest time of any of these players currently on the online leaderboards on the PBs. Now, Richie is, 43 thousandths behind him on it. Epos about a 10th back. Acrose, this one could be a little bit of a struggle, is 4 tenths back, but at the same time, Acrose was 7 tenths behind Richie's PB on Sublimation. So right now, I don't know how much the BBs are really giving us in terms of guidance. These players are all driving incredibly well on the day.
Yeah, they're all playing really well. They've all had to play really well to get to this point. So, fair play to them for continuing to push that level. What seems to be further and further, as we get into the first half of the first round on Halfwood here, as Richie leads ahead of Acrose and Melioo. Epos falling a little bit behind, as now Acrose leads. Oh my god. Acrose is playing so well. He's doing really good. I didn't expect Acrose to be like this. He leads by, a tenth or so.
He doesn't anymore. He's being gained on a little bit. It is 3 cars vying for the win. Acrose is not one of them anymore, as it is going to be Melioo to the line by 32 thousandths. Richie settles for second. Epos will probably end up with a third, as Acrose's mistake is punishing. He's still going to get a finish. Will not be a DNF, but it's only 3 points. Melioo, the first player to put a little bit of daylight then between himself and the rest of the players. More than a round win if Melioo DNFs away from anyone else.
Yeah, this is just incredible so far. And Epos is down at 22 points. He needs to kind of, really get a grip on this match, or it can start snowballing away from you fast if you pick up a couple 4th places, and then then it gets harder and harder to fight back, especially against these players who, the reason they're here is because they're so consistent, right? They've come first or second in all their matches so far. Yeah. And it's going to be harder and harder to fight back the longer this goes on. So Epos needs to kind of get a little bit of grip on it now, and start bringing himself back into those points finishes.
Yeah, that definitely an interesting take as well. I think this has been, of a lot of competitions we've seen recently, one where consistency has been rewarded. Melioo is going to clip. Consistency has been incredibly rewarded from players who are pretty quick, but maybe not have the fastest possible times, it's time to switch gears. It's time to go for speed and not just consistency. It's also time not to clip at the finish line. Epos will slip back into third place. Acrose picks up another second, and Richie with a first moves to 38 points. Melioo, that gap I was just talking about, it vanishes in an instant. In a heartbeat, he's only 4 points ahead.
Yeah, 4 points ahead and 16 points separating the four players here. It has been a pretty incredible match so far. Like just from a pure spectator's point of view, not even as a cast, just from spectators, this must be insane to watch. And of course, there's probably three other matches just like this going on right now. So like, what have Nadeo graced us with in terms of this? Like, this is unbelievable.
This is great. Yeah, it only gets better. This is only a quarterfinal. Semi-finals are going to be even scarier in terms of the level of competition as well. And I can't wait to see the names that do appear when we get to that round of 8. But right now, in this round of 16, it is tight between 3 players. Acrose, unfortunately, with a little bit of a clip, has dropped behind by about half a second. Melioo, Epos, and Richie, though, all about a 10th separating them at the moment. More wood driving to be done here on half wood. It makes sense as Melioo leads the way from Richie, from Epos. Epos poised to pounce if there is a mistake, but it was Epos who made the mistake at the end of the last round, and he is drifting a little way away now. Slightly less speed entering this wood. He jumps much higher than the other two and did get a slowdown as well. Melioo wins the round. Richie less than a 10th behind, and Epos not able to get beyond a 3rd place in any of these rounds.
Yeah, Epos is he's struggled on half wood so far. Once again, I can't count to 4, so I'm not sure if that has been all 4 rounds. It has
Nope.
not. We still have another round to go on half wood. But yeah, Epos has really struggled on this map so far, and you know he could really do now with like a solid second or even a round win here, just to kind of stem the bleed a bit of the points. As Melioo makes an early mistake there on the inside, so that's one less player that Epos has to worry about. But there still is Acrose and Richie who are fighting back through this whole map. Of course, all players ahead of Epos at the moment, so Epos really needs a round win just to maybe calm it just a little bit, just to slow down the momentum of Richie and the Crows and Melioo, and just to relax, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I'll hit you with the cope, though, which is if there's a map you're not comfortable on, you'd much rather see it 2nd than 4th, 5th in the pack. And hey, it's okay for Epos that maybe one map isn't going as well. This is at least the 2nd place that he's sitting in at the moment, and the gap is huge behind. Acrose and Melioo have both made massive errors. Epos is going to push. He's going to try and chase down Richie. This jump has not gone well. This time it will. He's got the speed. He might be able to catch him. It'll be down to the line, and Epos loses by 33 thousandths. Richie just had a slightly lower jump and manages to sneak away the win.
Incredible. They're the rounds we have seen so far. Like, I'm actually speechless, and it's really bad for a caster to be speechless because I need to talk. I need to tell you guys and commentate on what's going on. It's really bad, but I am just in awe of what I have seen so far in this match. It's been incredible. It's been unbelievable.
It's been great. We still have 3 more maps to go as well. So we'll see how things shake out from here. It's a 100-point limit at the moment. It will be for the semi-finals as well. Once we get to the grand finals, that point limit will be raised to 120. So we'll keep an eye out for that when we get to the grand finals, because it does mean that whatever the first map is randomly selected is likely to be seen again. So depending on who's been doing well on which maps, that could be very, very interesting once we get to that stage of competition.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be incredible, to say the least. As we go into Cadence now, of course, the map with a lot of tech, a lot of full speed, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of wood. As we'll see what these players can drive for us here. Epos was quite strong on this in the previous match. I think he won all 4 rounds. Yeah, he came out of it on 40 points, if I remember correctly.
He did. Now, there is a caveat to that, an asterisk, that Binks had the pace, but a lot of crashing.
Yeah, but you can only play what's in front of you, right?
That's true. Ooh,
if everyone
right
crashes
now,
and you win,
only 1 car in front of Richie. Make that 2. Acrose does manage to just about sneak a wheel past him, but not for long. It is Epos in 2nd. Richie kind of extending the gap. Epos gets very close to the outside wall on the dirt. Richie holds on to 1st place. Dirt turn. 1 more dirt turn to go as well. And the wood leading into, we've seen errors on it before. Acrose and Epos neck and neck for 2nd place. Around this drift, into the wood we go, and then exiting. Who hits the wall? Nobody, but Epos gets close. By getting that close, he's gotten the edge over Acrose. He might even catch Richie. It was close at the line, but Epos, he'll be happy with that 2nd place. That was a very strong finish.
That was a very, very strong ending from Epos there to keep away Acrose, and almost got up to Richie. It was quite close. He seems to have that dirt line on the outside really, really, really well. right at the end. But as we go ahead now into round 2, and he's caught up to Acrose. Epos has. He's only 1 point behind now, but he still does need to obviously catch up to Melioo or someone else if they were to start making mistakes, to make sure he can put himself in top 2 and get himself into these semi-finals in the next match here.
That's the dream. That's the
That's the
hope.
dream.
He does need to
That's the
start
hope.
catching up a little bit. And as you said, he has looked good on this map. And this would be a great time to start to make the charge into the back half of the match, where that's when it matters, where you finish, actually. As Epos has moved into first place. Richie was a little bit slow through that section and has dropped a couple of places. Acrose is really pushing for these second places at the moment, and potentially making life difficult for the players. There, he's going to not touch the wall. Did he touch the wall? He didn't. Somehow, I would swear to you that there was a wheel in the wall there, but hey, positions don't lie, as Acrose was doing all right. Melioo is now up into second place, though, and he's looking all right. Epos is looking very clean up in first place, and everyone will survive this dirt turn. Epos, once again, pushes really hard compared to everyone else in the match on that outside dirt, and is going to finish the round with a first place, a much needed first place for Epos. It's been a while since we've seen that 10.
And he has now finally, since the start of the match, brought himself out of last place in it.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is,
been a while.
it has literally been, it's been almost the whole match, so it has
Yeah.
to
Well, thank
since
you. Yeah.
that first round. But
Hey,
yeah, now
he's only 15 points down. That's closable in this
that's
format
very
quickly.
closable. But also, he now needs to take this momentum here and really feed off it and make sure he can continue to go and pick up round wins and continue to close the gap to Richie, because ultimately you probably want to put yourself in a first place. I think you get an easier match if you win a quarterfinal.
Well, you're going to get another first place player and 2 second place players.
Yeah,
so.
there's no easy matches. The easy matches are a myth at this stage of the competition. Easy matches were a myth at like the last round. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But Epos and Richie here, as they lead us through the dirt section and into the downhill before the wood, with a little bit of slightly different lines, and Epos has this outside line that he's not doing for this round. Maybe the entry wasn't optimal for him, as he hopes to be able to survive the ending, but Richie's coming back here as Epos gets more to the outside and Richie almost clips, but that will be a round win for Epos.
Hey, if there's a turn on a track that it's a good idea to be very, very, very good at, it is that last turn. And from what we've seen of Epos so far, that final dirt right-hander has been spectacular, giving him kind of half a tenth to a tenth almost at times of an advantage in that final turn. And it has allowed him to continue to pick up these round wins on cadence. He's gotten another round win in a row. He's only 5 points behind Melioo now, only 12 points behind Richie. And this is the momentum carrying through a little bit from Epos. A third round win on cadence would be massive, and he's off to a decent start.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we go now into, here he is. Look at those SDs. He's so clean with it. It's unbelievable. I never thought I'd see Epos absolutely nailing an SD before. But as we look now on cadence, we look and see what times are these guys going to end up driving, as Epos, Richie, and Melioo are there. Acrose is just a little bit further behind, hoping to prey on any mistake from them. As Epos gets up 45.
He's doing all right. He's sitting pretty. He's sitting pretty in first place. Richie is managing to overtake Acrose, who is also looking to pick up some decent rounds as we leave cadence behind. Epos has a little bit less speed than Richie, then Acrose entering this final turn. He needs to nail this one. He's not done quite well enough. That was a full crash from Acrose. He's out of it. Richie takes first. Epos takes second. That should be Melioo. Surely into third. No, he is behind Acrose, as both of them had to respawn, and it's Acrose who takes the third place. That was a torrid map, honestly, for Melioo. He did not have a good time of it at all. Has slipped a long way back towards it as Epos sits only 2 points behind him.
Yeah, and Epos, that was a map needed. Certainly needed for Epos there to kind of just stem the bleed and make it so that he's not last, and that he has now put himself firmly back in contention for this match for possibly a win. Richie is still 15 points ahead, so Richie, he only needs a couple thirds and he'll be in needs
Finalist.
3/3, and no, he won't. I'm lying.
Nope,
that
is
incorrect. I
incorrect.
can't maths. Yeah, okay, I'm never going to try to do maths again on a cast.
Hey, look,
ridiculous.
if Richie gets the first, he's very close to finalist. That's all that matters right now. That's the easiest way to think about it. And hey, we're hoping here on the Blue Jays X BITM stream that Epos is denying him those firsts.
Yep. And that Epos gets first. Yep.
That
I
would
like
be
that.
what Epos denying him those first would mean, yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hey, Epos not denying anyone a first right now in the sense that, well, he's behind Melioo, who is currently sitting pretty in front of the pack. It's a little bit spread out as Richie has had a rough start to the round. 3 seconds down to kick things off. Through the plastic we go, as it is Melioo very close to the outside of that dirt, but Epos is still gaining. A little bit more speed on the entry means that the gap just shrinks and shrinks, and there is less than a car length between them at this point as we enter a very wobbly dirt section. Setting up for the ice then, it's Melioo who gets a better setup. He was carrying a little bit more speed outside on this ice, though we've seen the exits be inconsistent in terms of pace. It's not inconsistent enough for Epos, as he will have to settle for second as Melioo takes home first.
Yeah, and Melioo and Epos there both closing in the gap to Richie, who only gains 3 points. So the match suddenly looks very interesting again. 86, 80, 74. 12 points separating the three players as this is gonna start. This is where it starts to get really intense now, where players are in the high 80s, the high 70s, and you realize you're a couple of rounds away from winning, but you're also a couple of rounds away from someone else winning,
Yeah,
and that's
if the
you
heart
gone
rate
then.
if the heart rate wasn't elevated just being in the quarterfinals at this point, it's definitely starting to elevate now, I think, for
I
all of these players. Probably for Acrose as well, who unfortunately is starting to drift a little bit away from the top 3 in this match, and will be a little bit further after this round. The touch meaning that he is sitting in a pretty distant 4th place right now, but not so far that a full crash from someone else wouldn't allow him straight back into this round. 3 players are wheel to wheel at the top though.
Yeah, as they all three players have to go through this bobbly dirt, followed by the ice slide to the side. Who will win this round as Melioo gets slightly worse. Epos clips on the inside and loses some speed. That's going to allow Richie and Melioo to unfortunately overtake him, as Richie survives the ice slide, followed by Melioo, followed by Epos. And did he clip a lamp? I think he might have
I
clipped a lamp on the inside there and just lost some speed, and that cost him.
And that immediately kind of spreads the top 3 out. They finish in order of the positions they were in the match as well. And that means 10 points the gap from Richie to Melioo, and then 8 points the gap from Melioo's back to Epos. It'd be nicer if they finished in reverse order of that. Epos first, Melioo second, Richie third. That'd shrink our gap back down, but Richie has put himself in a position where he only needs a top 3 in order to hit finalist mode in the next round. Melioo, with a full crash at the start, is going to be a long way off. Acrose with a chance maybe to claw back, reintroduce himself into this conversation, because once players start hitting finalists, then there's actually kind of deceptively a few rounds in which you can gain points and put yourself in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. So Acrose will be thanking Melioo for that early mistake, allowing him to take a fairly free position. And also Epos himself thanking Melioo, as Epos, if he continues the way he's going with this round and survives, staying well clear of that lamp this time, he wasn't even going near it, as he navigates the ice slide quite nicely alongside Richie. And Epos will win the round, and Melioo will pick up 3 points, which means that the gap will shrink to 1, right?
Uh,
Between Epos and Melioo,
sure.
I
Maybe.
think.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're
And
correct. Good
so
maths.
we have finalist 89-88. This match could not be closer if we tried right now, as yeah, into the 4th round, I think, here on Castle.
Yeah.
Richie will just be looking for the win. Richie will be just like, get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. There's too much happening. These players are too fast. I want out as quick as possible. As Epos and Melioo will be like, no, 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 you are going nowhere. I am winning this round and making your life uncomfortable. As Melioo leads from Richie up the hill. As Melioo clips on the inside, I think, unfortunately for him, as Epos now, the only one in a position to deny Richie getting out of this match, as Acrose is there to prey on any mistake that either of them might make.
Yeah, and Epos has speed as we enter this, but that speed will not make a huge difference. It's all about who can carry it through then into the ice. Epos has put the cars alongside, gets close to the pole that time, and he's clipped on the inside corner rather than the lamppost. Acrose says, thanks, I'll take second, but Richie says, see ya, I'm in first, and I'm taking the match, as Richie will move through. Melioo was never catching. Just ignore the 300s gap there. There is going to be Richie gone. Epos and Melioo tied on 92 points, and Acrose 20 points behind them. A couple of round wins for Acrose, which he's fully capable of doing, puts him right back in the mix of this one as well. Oh lord. Oh boy. Oh god.
What is going on with this match? The drama is just incredible. As now, Epos and Melioo will likely have, it'll be kind of just be 2 rounds.
Yeah, it
It's going to be
probably
winner, and then the pressure will all be on, unless Acrose can just pop
wins
himself into
every
first.
round.
The best thing possible to happen right now for us as casters would be Acrose to win the round and just let Epos and Melioo stew a little bit longer in the pressure pot. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's deeply, deeply intense. We're on to lift off. It's, again, all about minimizing your airtime throughout the course of the map and over the first few corners. Epos looking better at that. We've seen him get wet wheels on that corner before. Might have been the later one. We have seen a mistake from Epos on this track before, is really what I'm saying. But right now, no mistakes. He is driving well out front. And he's holding on to first place. Melioo, though, managing to gain that time back. And Melioo will get through. Both of them carrying speed from the reactor. It's impossible to see them as they just sit in the same place. Melioo crash. Full crash. And he is gone. Out of the round, out of the conversation. It's Epos and Acrose. Epos touching, but that's okay. In the quarter pipe, he should be fine. As Acrose is a little bit too far back to make the push. Epos hits finalist mode. Acrose picks up 6th. And Melioo only gets 4. It does mean Melioo will still be guaranteed finalist if Epos does not win this next round.
Epos gets a free shot, essentially. This is what
Yeah.
this means. Epos gets one free go at it to just absolutely drive like a madman. And if Melioo makes a mistake, good for Epos. If Epos manages to just drive a really sick time, it's going to be tough for Melioo to keep up with him. But this is now where the nerves begin. Your tournament life here for Melioo. And he makes a mistake early. And now it is Epos against Acrose, and Melioo will be begging his Welsh teammate to just deny Epos for as long as possible to let himself get back into this match.
Yeah, teammates, but unfortunate news for Melioo. Epos is also a part of that Wumbo squad. So I don't think team loyalty is going to play into it all that much as Epos continues to hold on to the lead. Acrose is starting to just fall a little bit behind. That's it. The final jump. Epos to the line, and as long as he doesn't miss, he is through into the top 8 of the April Monthly Cup. What a performance so far, and it is not done yet. There is more to be written in this story.
And breathe.
Deep breaths.
Wow, what a match. That was incredible. It was unbelievable. I can't believe what I just watched.
Both of us in sync there, just hands behind the head, lean back away from the monitor for a second. That was
Wow.
intense. Good news for the British Isles as well, as Pac has also locked a spot in that top 8. A couple of the other matches still ongoing, I believe, but it's wild. It's crazy out here at the moment. I think all we can do is throw to a quick break because we need time to catch our breath, get ready for a semi-finals and then on to a grand finals as well. The April Monthly Club continues to deliver and there's plenty more action to come.
Wow.